Alright. Welcome to the start of a brand new anime review series. Though the anime videos we put on the Trigun, the same list as the previous series, this is sort of remake of Trigun. This is Trigun Stampede, a reboot-ish of the original anime, which I should point out though, it did adapt the original manga all the way through. It just briefly adapted the sequel manga Maximum and never finished it. Never did. Now, in this episode, we have only 4 characters who appear in the first episode of Trigun Stampede, which is known as Nomads. It's always the Nomad's Land. That's what it's called. We just have Vash, the Stampede, otherwise known as the Human Typhoon, Meryl, except she looks a bit shorter than the original anime, and a bit younger, Million Knives, who actually live in Flashback Presley, and Rem, who is Vash's adopted mother. She only appears just in the flashback. Excuse me, I started the episode because now the episode starts out at some point in the past. It's not really stated exactly when this is taking place. It could take place maybe 20, 30 years prior to this series. I don't know. So we basically have this woman who just saying hi to all people in stasis, and then the thing starts blowing up. Yeah, there's explosion all over the ship. So Rem takes Million Knives and Vash to an escape pod. Yep, an escape pod. This is also referred to as a plant ship. Yes, a plant ship. And of course, the ship crashes. There's another bit of flashback later on where they basically show off a little more Million Knives, how crazy the man is. He does also appear briefly at the end of the episode. And from I think he's voiced by the same guy. That I've not heard credit for him. Now, I'm watching English dub for the series. Bosch is still always voiced by John M. Bosch. This is the third time he's done him. First in the original series, second in the Trigun Badlands series. Which, by the way, this actually is the first new anime series released for Trigun since the Trigun Badlands movie that came out in 2010. Now, I originally reviewed Trigun roughly 3 years ago. It was when it basically was all the closed down, and it was a very quick series to get through. It was like maybe 26 episodes. Really fun series to watch. I have been interested in this series mainly because it was Johnny M. Bosch's anime debut. And can you believe the original anime made its debut back in 2001? Roughly 22 years ago? Yeah, seriously. And I watched it roughly 3 years ago. So after they show this wonderful sequence with the snake going like the past the ship and go down the plant, we cut straight to present day, where we see Mare working as a reporter, which is different. Now, here's the thing about Mare being a reporter. That part is actually canon, except it happened later on in the series. Because in the original series, she was an insurance agent. It wasn't until toward the end of the series where she became a reporter. And she's here with her partner, Roberto De Niro, who is, of course, obviously named after Oscar award-winning actor Robert De Niro. Yep, it is named after him. Now, is this character based on Robert De Niro, any character Robert De Niro played? Not sure. They have him with a full beard. Apparently, he's a heavy smoker, and he drinks out of a flask. And, of course, right across the desert, because they're looking for Vash Stampede. Yes, they look for Vash Stampede, and they find him pretty quickly. Now, in the original series, it took until episode 3 to realize, though, the man that Meryl was looking for. By the way, Millie is not in this series. I'm not sure Millie's going to be in this series at all. Millie is this very tall woman who, is taller than Meryl. Now, I'm not sure if Roberto is supposed to take her place or not, but the thing is, Millie, despite being an airhead, she actually is a very good fighter. And she mostly acts as Meryl's bodyguard, mostly. My guess is Roberto's supposed to take her place. I'm not sure. I'm curious, where the heck is Millie? Because the thing with Trigun is, there isn't that many main characters for the main cast. I mean, aside from Vash, Meryl, Millie, and Million Knives, there is roughly one other character. a man named Nicholas. He appears a little later on in the original series, which I believe in the movie he is voiced by somebody else. Yeah, because they pretty much changed the entire voice cast of the entire series for, like, they changed it where, in the movie, where Nicholas D. Wolf was voiced by Brad Hawkins. In the original series, he's voiced by somebody else. Yeah, I have no idea why in the world they changed his voice actor for. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Yeah, in the original series, it was Jeff Nimoy who actually voiced him. Who actually was known for being Dragon Ball 2. But he was in the original series, but not in the movie. Nope. Which makes so far. Now, the thing is, the adult Million Knives is voiced by Kirk Bailey. I do not know if he's basically back as the character. It's not listed here. Surprisingly, the only names I found here who voices basically the two of the characters from the series. Okay, so Million Knives is voiced by Austin Tindall. Okay, Emily Fitzgerald voices Rem. Young Splash Stampede is voiced by Kristen McGuire. Young Million Knives, Megan Shipman. I haven't come across him yet. Rosita is voiced by Linda McKay. Let's see. They don't have one for Chuck Lee. They haven't credited him yet. Now, who voices Meryl? Sarah Roth. That's who basically voices her in the series. This is actually the 12th series I've heard her in. She's also been in Attack on Titan for a one-shot character named Abel Reese. She was Nano from Banished from the Hero Party. She was a series of characters from Black Clover. She was also Noctisona as a minor character. She was voiced by Maki Ozzy from Fire Force. And of course, her father is voiced by Chris Masapa, which is awesome. Let's see. She's also in the second season of How Not the Seven Demon Lords. She's voice of Crow. She was in Kaguya Loba's War as two minor characters in that one. She's in Miss Kawashi's Dragon Maid as a one-shot character. My Hero Academia, just background character. Wicca from One Piece. I'm trying to think. Who is this guy? Wicca. Okay. It's the... Oh, I remember this character. This character appeared in the Dressrosa arc. Yeah, this is the one to help out Zoro, which is something, though. She was also in Our Last Crusade of the Rise of a New World as Nani. Yeah, one of the main characters, like, group subordinates. She's also in Plunderer as, like, some minor characters in that one. She's also in Super X Heroes, another series reviewed. Additional voices credited for Skeleton in the World. Same thing for Death Time Requires a Slime. Probably the first season. In Slime Diver, she's the voice of Renarnia. That's basically her name. She is a goblin who appeared mostly in the spin-off series. Yeah, she basically mostly appeared in the Slime Diary, so... And that's pretty much it for her. The guy who voices... Roberto, he's voiced by Ben Bryant. That's who is the voice of this guy. And the guy's in his 40s right now. Aside from this series I'm watching, he was Attack on Titan as, well, some other character. A one-shot character from Banished from the Hero Party. He was also in Black Clover, so it seems like everybody was in Black Clover. He was in Cautious Hero as a Night Captain, if you're curious. D. Gray Man. Dr. Stone. Fairy Tail is a couple characters. Freezing. In there on my smartphone. Probably a background character. He was in Love Tyrant. My First Girlfriend's a Gal. My Hero Academia as Val King. I'm trying to look up who this guy is. I think he's Oh yeah, he actually is the teacher from Class 1B. Yeah, the guy whose power is basically blood. Yep, that's who he voices there. He's an overlord. He was in the first seasons. He was not in the most recent season of the show. Let's see. He's he was also next time recurring as a slime. Additional voices. You could say, oh yeah, he just basically voiced nobody. Same thing in case of Vandos. He's not one too. He's notable for the original series and the Root A. He's also the voice of Selmy Husky from Re. And that's it. Yeah. Oh, if you're curious still about his character from Re, he was a reporter who worked for. He basically, he appeared for like maybe one or two episodes. He basically was a prison warden. Yeah, Kulia, which is basically a detention center, which basically had a lot of known people there. Had a few episodes actually in the series based there. Yeah, and that's simply it for basically the dub cast they have for this one. Now, so right after they find Vash, he's hanging upside down with vultures. Apparently, some Badlands gang did to him, and then they get him down, and of course he's got an artificial arm. Like in the original series, he got an artificial arm like that one, except it's blue. Instead, in the original series, it was black. Now, his outfit is pretty much the same. He still got the famous glasses he had in the original series. The only change I see that made to him was the fact that he made his arm blue. Yes, I'm not really sure why, but I would see images about that, like, why the heck is his arm blue for? His arm's black. His artificial armor is a black robot armor. Of course, they say in the series, it's lost technology. Of course, there is also another change they made in the series. I'll get to that. So, then they run into the July military police force. Now, in the original series, the city of July was rumored to be destroyed by Trigun Stampede prior to the start of the series. And here, apparently, they're active. Yeah, the July military police force. Not really sure why they changed that for. They say, by the way, he's referred to as wanted for $6 million double dollars. In the original series, it was $160 million double dollars. It's almost like basically he's worth less than the original series. Not really sure why. I would have thought though they would have kept that, but nope, they didn't. So they go to June Rock, where of course they meet with Rosita, who is basically a bartender who's also pregnant. Rosita is voiced by, of course, let's see if we can right here, Lindsay McKay. Sounds like really voice actress that one is. Yep. Who also helps Trigun in the episode, who actually helps Vash in the episode. Now, despite the whole Human Stampede thing, which I'm glad the fact they kept all his nickname, the Human Typhoon, the fact he got bounty, it was lower, and the fact his gun. Now, in case you're curious though, did they change the look of his gun at all? From what I can tell, his gun looks pretty much the same. Except it's basically like a brownish color. Yeah, let me take a look here at Vash's gun. Oh, also, he's got like a seed patch on his arm, which in the original series, he never had that. Nope. I'm glad the fact his coat's red, except they made a change where like a zip-up one to like a button-up coat he wore in the original series. And he's still pretty much the same. Now, the weapons he used is a 45 Colt. Appearance-wise, it doesn't look much different, except they slightly alter the barrel of the gun for this series. Yeah, I'm not really sure why in the world that this is, but yeah. Oh, in case you're curious though, does Vash does he have spiky hair like the original series? Oh yeah, he does. Though it's like less spiky, it's a bit of messy hair. So they get to town, and of course, basically like you mentioned, he saved the town, saved the plant, and they go to the plant, take a look at it. And it looks pretty much similar to the original series, except the exterior is different. The exterior looks like it's a big, humongous mountain. Yeah, in the original series, it looked like a giant light bulb. Yeah, I'm not really this is another change. I'm curious why the heck they changed this for. Why? Because this has been like. By the way, the original anime came out in 1998. The dub happened in 2001. Yes. Why in the world they changed this 24 years later? Not really sure. So, and of course they supposedly captured Trigun Stampede, and of course they have a duel. Apparently his guns have bullets. By the way, him like running away the way he does, I'm glad the fact Johnny keeps that from the original series. Yeah, in fact he's not much of a fighter. And of course, there's a bunch of these like little missiles because this Chuck Lee, which I'm sure is named after both Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. Aside from the fact the guy is a freaking coward, he's basically he's just a villain. He gets so he managed to destroy thanks to using a rock and another bullet. With only one bullet, they destroy all these things, and then of course Chuck Lee is taken down, and of course they walk out, and of course then they have like ask like what are you running from? We have that plant. He's like, I have a brother. His name is Million Knives. And then they show that flashback, and that's the episode. I gotta admit, this actually was I love the story for this episode. Though, in case you're curious, though, was there any changes I mentioned I was not a fan of? Well, I don't have a problem with the updated coat. I have no problem with that at all, Pravash. I'm glad Meryl Brimus didn't change at all. Aside from the fact she's shorter and she's wearing a hat now. Yeah, they were serious, she wore a hat. I would probably say the only change I didn't like, though, was the appearance of the plant. Yes, because basically it was just like this thing with a giant light bulb on it, which that was a good look for it. It's a good futuristic look. Here it's like a big mountain. Like, same time mountain shape, but it's no bulb there. Yeah, it's like a different thing there. It's almost like they ripped this look off from Plunderer. That's what it seemed like to me anyways. But the story is so interesting. Oh, by the way, Knives is seen playing a piano. He's also crazy. Yes. Though I've got to ask. There's also references here to, like, apparent, like, Cowboy Bebop in this one. Yes. That's what I've heard anyways when it comes to this one, is that there's actually like references to that. Oh, I also found out apparently this anime took 5 years to complete. 5 years to make this series. And of course aired just now. 5 years. That means they started making the series back in 2018. Like, okay. And the company that made this, by the way, it's not the original studio who made the original series. Oh no, original series was made by Madhouse. This was made by a company called Orange. Now you might be curious though, have I seen any series that basically this company made? Aside from this one. No, I haven't. The company's been around for 18 years, and apparently, this is quite strange though, its first ever show they ever released was back in 2013. Why the heck it took them like a decade for them to release a series makes no freaking sense at all. Yeah, so I haven't seen, this is the only one I have seen from them. Is there any series I'm interested in? Maybe, I'm not sure. It depends basically on what they have here. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it to discuss here. So, wrap this up here. So next up is going to be My Hero Academia. Yep, that one's coming next. And then afterwards, it's going to be Don't Thomas Nagaro. Okay? Next video. Bye.